Hello, everyone. My name is Isaac, and today I'm going to be talking to you about teamwork. Who here remembers what yesterday's topic was? Nobody? Oh, come on. All right, I'll give you a hint. It was started with a C, and it ended with omitment, commitment. Well, I sort of made this commitment that I changed my shirt after. I sort of made this commitment that I changed my shirt right after making that other topic. I don't know. It just sounded about right. I'm just kidding. Anyways, as I mentioned, today's topic is about teamwork. But what does it mean to be a team player? You see, you can have a team, you can work with people, but if you're not a team player, it ain't teamwork. By the way, there's no I in team. Does anyone remember that SpongeBob song? I sound a little bit childish right now, but anyone remember that song? F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. N is for anyone and anyone all down here in the deep blue sea. But there was this other side of it. There was another version where Plankton sang his version. You see, SpongeBob had his own version. He was trying to teach him that version. SpongeBob is a really bright person. He's very honest, enthusiastic, bright. He's just very loving and caring. But Plankton, on the other side, he's kind of like almost the exact opposite of SpongeBob. But of course, the main show is about SpongeBob, not about Plankton. But the part I want to touch on was the other perspective. You see, there were two perspectives to that song called Fun. And you can search it up. F is for friends who do stuff together by SpongeBob, or just Fun by SpongeBob, if you'd like to search it up. But the part I want to touch on was Plankton's part. You see, SpongeBob literally is a sponge, and Plankton, I kind of forgot what he was, but he was green. And his perspective of the song, F is for fire, U is for uranium bomb, and N is for, I don't even remember, but I thought it was just funny. Of course, overall, it's supposed to be a joke. It's supposed to be funny, but the overall message and the theme of it was fun, working together, teamwork, because I don't even remember what the episode was about, but I can tell you that relates very well to teamwork and being a team player, because when you're working with people, I can tell you, even if you're related by blood, I can tell you one thing: you will butt heads at some point. And just because you're related by blood, just because you've known each other for a long time, it doesn't always mean that everything will get done the way that you want. Because when you're working with a team, you gotta, of course, if you want things to go well, of course, there has to be sacrifice. What does that mean? Well, as I mentioned, there were two perspectives to the song Fun by SpongeBob. F is for friends who do stuff together. F is for fire. U is for you and me. And then Plankton's side was, and I'm going back and forth, by the way. And Plankton said, U is for uranium bombs. You can see there's two different perspectives to the song Fun. There was SpongeBob's perspective and there was Plankton's perspective. But when you're working with and I'll get to that. My personal example with working in a team, it was not a great experience, but I definitely learned a lot from it. But in my experience, I didn't even finish what I was saying about the two perspectives. You see, when you're working with a team, there will be other ideas that will be shared along the way. I just realized I was covering up my phone with the mic. I hope you can still hear me, by the way. But the two perspectives that were shared there was SpongeBob and Plankton's. And there will be, if you're working with four people like I was, you'll have four different minds, four different perspectives, meaning your thoughts or your ideas won't always be heard. But I guarantee you one thing that, I can't guarantee you because it is a teamwork. Other thoughts, and this is a good, and of course, this can work in your favor and out of it. When there's four different minds at the table, meaning more work will get done, more ideas, more people to hold you accountable. And some people work better in groups than you do. Unless you're like me who loves working in groups. I love working in groups, just working with other people, But the important is that you get work done efficiently. But remember that there are other minds at the table. Sometimes you'll have to sacrifice your ideas, And I say that, I mean, sometimes your ideas won't get heard. Sometimes you just have to zip it and just listen. because some people have also great thoughts, but also love share yours. But anyways, let's dive into it. Isaac, was that the intro? No, it wasn't. Already long past that. So about teamwork. What are some things that are stopping you from leading in the team? Well, there's one thing. There are different kinds of personalities, different kinds of people who are working in your table. You see, if you're at the table, I'll just go ahead and give you my example. So I was working, this is a personal example, a real example. I was working in a group. It was in geometry class, and we had to build some sort of geometric figure, a prism or something, but we were working with shapes. I promise this was not third grade math. This was literally geometry. But the thing is, it was a little bit more advanced than third grade math. We had to, I don't even remember all that it was because it was like a month or two ago, but we had to get different pieces. We had to all bring our minds together and think about whether we would build a house. We pretty much just had to build something and the guidelines that my teacher had assigned us to do. And we decided to build a boat. There were two other people who decided, hey, you know what, let's do a house. My friend Ben's, I won't even say all their names, of course. My friend, he decided, you know, we're gonna build a boat. I was like, you know what, I love the idea. But then there was two other people who were like, let's go for the house. So what do we do? Well, we all came together at the end of the day. I won't even sure how that happened. But long story short, the point I want to touch on is that when I was working in the group, my ideas weren't always heard. My thoughts weren't always shared. Sometimes I was even shut down a few times. And it didn't feel good, of course. But don't let pride be in the way of having fun, because it's supposed to be a group project. You could have worked alone. Sorry, the countryside accent kicked in. Promise I'm not from the country. But there was a choice that had to be made there. And the things that were stopping me from leading there was other people wanting to lead as well. Other people who were, I guess you could say, other people had their own ideas. My ideas weren't always shared. Some people took me lightly. Some people looked down on me. Some people looked up to me. But the thing that mattered the most was that we were getting work done. Whether we worked well or not, of course it mattered. Some people were doing it for the grade. Some people were just doing it to do it. And there are some people who are just doing it because they were told to. But leading to my next point, obstacles to being a team player: ego, insecurity, teamwork, I guess you could say, and pride. Have you ever worked with someone before I guess you could say deep personality, but that's a topic for another day. But have you ever worked with someone, but you just feel like you're not being heard? You feel like you're talking to a wall and they're doing all the work while you're just sitting back. For some people, they love that. Some people who don't at all. But I can tell you one thing. When you're working in a team or a group, I hear some background noise. Sorry if you hear that. But when you're working in a group, don't let these things stop you from leading. Don't let these things stop you from getting the work done. So what are the truths about teamwork? Teamwork divides the effort and multiplies the effect. What does that mean? Well, as we mentioned earlier, the importance of teamwork, the benefits of teamwork is one thing is that you get more work done. So what I meant by teamwork divides the effort and multiplies the effect was it divides the effort, meaning you won't have to work as hard because you can distribute roles and we can all do complete our own tasks. Say we had a pie and we split it into 4 halves. Instead of us having to eat the entire pie, me alone, instead of me having to eat the entire pie, instead I can share it with the other 3 people at my table, assuming it's a 4-man table, you know what I mean? When I say men, I don't just mean male gender, I mean all, but I think you get what I'm trying to say here. It divides the effort, meaning I won't have to work as hard, but it multiplies the effect and efficiency as well. Teams with championships. Have you ever heard this saying, one band, one sound? Well, if you're a band geek like me, you'd know that when you're working, and that has nothing to do with what I'm about to say, I just had to get that out there. when you're working in a group, when you're, let's say for those of you who are in band, and you know what, let's try this again. For those of you who've ever been in a band before, you'd know that there are multiple, like I guess you could say about 18, 20, sometimes from in your, if you're in an average band class, let's say maybe 20 to 50 people. But if you're like in middle school, there were about 87 kids in your class. Yeah. Imagine how hard it is on the teacher. But luckily now that I'm in high school, I guess you could say it ducked down a little bit because there were more periods, more classes in a day. So they had, instead of working all in one, they could distribute the roles in through the different classes. But adding on to what I'm saying, with the teams, with working in a team and a band, you see, we all have different parts and roles we play in the team effort. But if we're trying to do it all on our own, we'll end up overloading ourselves, stressing ourselves, and moreover, it'll be like a solo instead of a band. Have you ever heard that saying, one band, one sound? I know I just said that. You see, if you're all not coexisting, it won't sound as good. You won't perform as good. And most of all, the end result will not be as good as if you all worked together, made it one sound, and did it diligently. So in the end, I hope you all took something from this, and hopefully there will be a part 2. And oh man, it is hot. You can see the sweat on my forehead a little bit. But today's topic was about teamwork, and I hope you all took something from this, whether it was about the importance of teamwork, the benefits of it. Don't stop yourself from leading, or the things that are stopping you from leading, or the truths about teamwork. So whether you took something from each of those sections, I just hope it added value to your lives. And as you go through the rest of the day, keep this in mind. Be a team player, not a solo. God bless you guys. Peace.